Hello people, today I have with us a figure-rise standard model kit. This one is Miorine Rembran from the Witch from Mercury anime. There is a bit of a write-up here, so I'll go ahead and get into that. A second-year student in the Management Strategy Department at Astacasia School of Technology. Her student number is LS001. Miorine is the only daughter of Delling Rembran, the president of the Benneret Group. Her father has decided that she must marry a duelist who achieves the title of holder. In an effort to escape her fate, Miorine attempts to flee to Earth when she meets Mercury, and the two bond in battle. Despite consistently having the best grades in the Management Strategy Department, Miorine finds herself isolated at school. While being the daughter of the head of the Benneret Group is certainly a factor, her lack of friends is due in no small part to her cantankerous disposition. Now, I'm not an expert on the anime. I did finish it, and I liked it. I liked her character the least. Apparently, that's due to her cantankerous disposition. I just didn't like how well she was written. But even so, she was an interesting character, to say the least. She's also one of the ones they decided to build a model kit out of. And that makes sense. You know, you're going to have your main character, your main protagonist, and they usually do something similar to show off one of the other characters, especially a female. There are a lot of females to choose from, but it makes sense to have the one that apparently the main character is supposed to wed. Now, while she's not exactly my favorite character, she is an interesting model kit, and let me go ahead and show you what she can do. Let's go ahead and get into the articulation. So right away, we have a very similar articulation set to the other figure-rise standard. We have the ball joint in the neck here, and like the 30-Minute Sisters, we actually have a pivot point here at the neck. Let's see if I can get my light to calm down a bit. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. That one is also on a ball joint in the very base, like so. So, the very small amount of movement you get from that, though, is lost because of this collar. Also, she has a really long neck, but like most musume kits, that's pretty well hidden by her joint, which is pretty deeply embedded in her head. There is another articulation point on her hair. You can move this one up and down like so, like a flap. If I recall correctly, that's on a peg. It's actually a ball joint, and that should be able to be moved inside here, so you can get some variation on how the hair is displayed. Because that head will likely pop off, we're going to go ahead and leave it off for now. Let's see if I can get this over here. Her shoulder is another ball joint. I can't believe that one's separated before the other. But the ball joint fits inside here. That is a loose connector inside there, that round part. It actually can move forward and back, so that aids in your posability, but not by very much. The ball joint is doing most of the work. And then as you saw here, it is a shoulder joint, which is stuck inside this cylinder here, which allows you to move that up and down. That slides into this one here and allows you to rotate this axis. However, you do beware, if you turn this too sharply and that butts up against her back here, it'll actually start separating that cylinder and you'll pop it out like I did earlier. So just be wary of that. Her arm is on a slot that goes upward, so you can rotate it inside here. And you have a joint inside here, which is actually a ball joint, moves all the way around. This part here is a slotted bit, so you can move this one up and down on the arm as well, so that the open sleeve here can just dangle according to what gravity dictates. It's pretty convenient. And then, of course, you have a wrist joint, very similar to how most musume wrist joints are designed, and that is the two pieces here put together with the rotation in the middle. You can rotate that on the hand and at the wrist. And like I said, there's a ball joint in here, so you can actually get some wild movements in here. It's very, very free and very convenient. I like that joint a lot. So ball joint in a socket, and that's also mounted to right here. You see a joint. I didn't realize there was another one in there, but that does allow a lot of movement. Inside here, there is ball joint inside here that goes into the top of the lower torso, and that allows freedom of motion here. The bottom here actually can rotate on her hips, and it's actually a ball joint as well. The hips are similar to 30-minute sisters, where you have two pins that come in like a Y. You can move those up and down like so. And those allow for quite a lot of range of motion for the inside here. She's quite athletic, this Miorine. You can rotate at the bottom of the shorts. And of course you get a single action knee. They want to hide as much of the joints as possible on the set. They can rotate at this axis, but you would have to pull it out a hair and then do the rotation. I'm not going to do that one right now because it is very tight. It actually discolored the plastic on the inside here when I did it, so be very careful putting that in. Definitely trim it a little bit more than I did. So one point there, and then at the ankle, you can rotate this, and you can move just a simple hinge right here, which actually allows for quite a bit of motion. And then there is a pin at the bottom, which allows you to rotate the foot. So I'm separating that there, so careful on how you do that. In terms of extras that this one comes with, there are a few different things that it does have. That includes a couple of face plates. This one is, I want to say it's a smiling expression with a little bit of an upturn on the lips. And then we have this one, which seems to be a little bit angrier. They do have eyes for these ones on decals. So, well, maybe it's a concern face. But you can see there's quite a bit of options for that. That's another inclusion. We have some gardening tools. There's actually write-ups about this one and why they are included. We have a set of holding hands with an extra wrist set. And a pair of closed fists. In addition to that, there's a sticker sheet. If you don't want to use some of the decals, they are in place some stickers. And also these ones are for some color correction on her sleeves, on her neck, and on her tie. Lastly, we get a set of feet that are not wearing shoes. Well, nothing to write home about. I'm sure some people would be happy about that inclusion. I think it's just because she is displayed in the show a couple of times, just being comfortable and lounging. All right, now I want to get on to a size comparison here. Let me adjust my light before bringing out my high-grade Gundam. This is the Gundam GBN base Gundam from the high-grade series. Is in 1/44 scale. So you can see they're very similar in height. Or maybe you're more familiar with Bandai's other line. This is the 30-minute missions Alto, shorter than Miorine is. And representing frame arms in 1/100 scale, this is the Jinrai. Obviously, he is quite a bit taller than she is. And standing next to her is the Architect from Frame Arms Girls. This one is in roughly 1/12 scale. As you can see, she is a bit shorter than our Miorine here. Is Figurized Standard is in non-scale, and O2 is the Frame Arms Girls series. But you can see they aren't in exactly the same realm, unless she's very short, which is a possibility. Here she is with Suletta. This is also a Figurized Standard. Suletta Mercury is just a bit taller than Miorine is. Even though they are from the same universe, this just shows that this girl here is a little bit shorter than your average. Here is the Hexagear Nero in 1/24 scale. You can see he is about half the height as she is tall. 1/24 scale, so she's roughly in 1/12 scale as well. And then the biggest in my collection here, at least for size and scale, this is the Alex Gundam in 1/100 scale. That's a master grade Alex Gundam. All right, and here she is with her feet replaced. She does lose a little bit of height without her boots, but it's not much. They actually made sure they extended those enough so that it looks very similar, standing in height anyways, beside the other figure here, the Suletta Mercury. I think this one is a quite nice little set. I think it's probably overpriced. They're $41, and that's a little steep for what you get. Now, that comes from someone who buys Frame Arms Girls, Megami Device, and things that are almost $80 each. So it's kind of a thing for me to weigh on what comes with the set versus how much plastic content there is. There is a lot of part separation coloration, so you're gonna get a lot for that. I mean, look at these shoes. You get color separation in the insets here. Her shirt, lots of blacks. The reds stand out. Multiple layered colors. It's very nice, but in terms of those extras, I think that's a little bit lacking. It's weird to have one tampographed faceplate and a whole bunch of other ones that you need to fix up yourself. But in terms of articulation, it's very nice. She is more flexible than most of the other girls. That ball joint, I think, is a game changer. Hopefully we see more of that very soon. If not in these girls, because there are quite a few female characters in The Witch from Mercury. If we release some of those, that would be great. If not, in other sets, there's lots of other female characters that you can produce. The 30-Minute Sisters, for example, is a line of girl kits that would benefit from that new technology. Or that, I guess it's not a new technology because you have ball joints all over the kits, but I mean, in that usage. Definitely something to consider. But in terms of price, I think $30 would have been a little bit more fair. I think the amount of plastic you get in this one is around $30 worth of plastic. The engineering, though, does push it up. So you say $30 is fair, but $35 is more realistic. I would expect to pay about $35 for these kits. So do I recommend them? Actually, I do. They are very neat kits, very nice for what they are. If you like Witch from Mercury, obviously these are two of the main characters. Very expected to be together, so if you buy one, you should have the other. With that said, I think that's going to be it for my review, though. I'm not going to heavily push on this one. I don't think she's an outstanding kit as far as what technologies are in, but she does look dramatically like the character she's designed to look like, and that's a good thing. That's what you want out of the kit. So and she's very posable. It'd be very fun to make a diorama display with these two interacting. It would be very funny as well. So like I said, no pushing, but it is something I would say, if you have the mind to get one, get it. Don't pass up. That is going to be it, though. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.